Back with another video. How we doing, guys? My name's BOBZ. This video is sponsored by Whiskey with G. I'm joined by my friend Reegan, Celtic fan. Reegan, how you doing?
Bobby, it's great to be on. Thank you for having me, mate. I'm doing well, I'm glad.
Good.
I'm glad to be on, and I'm glad to be part of your video, mate.
No worries at all, mate. No worries. How's life anyway?
It's going good, mate. I just keep plodding along. I've got another half of my term to go until I've got my degree, mate. So, life's going good. Life's going good,
Good
mate.
man, good man. Well done, well done. I know it's like studying, bro. I'm still doing my degree for real estate surveying. So yeah, I know 100% what you're going through. Right, the reason I got you on. Celtic appoint Brendan Rodgers. Where were you, and how did you feel about the news?
I was very, very happy, Bobby. I thought it was a great appointment. I thought Celtic were moving forward. I thought they were being progressive after Ange Postecoglou moved to Spurs because Ange has done a great job and quite rarely he got attention from the English Premier League, the biggest league in the world. But I thought going back to Brendan was a great thing. The one caveat that I did have to that, Bobby, was I felt like maybe Peter Lawwell on the board, we weren't very happy with that appointment because of the John McGinn saga,
Hmm.
maybe about 2 or 3 years ago. But I thought maybe they'd cross paths again and sorted that all out. But I don't think it's a good manager anymore, if I'm being honest, Bobby.
Okay. Now, fast forward to his tenure so far
Yep.
with Celtic at the moment. How would you describe it?
I think the club from top to bottom, Bobby, is a bit disillusioned. That's the way I'd put it. I think the supporters want Brendan in charge, but they're a bit disillusioned by the whole Brendan come out and saying they need four quality players. He doesn't get the quality players that he wants in, and then it's just all went to pot. Um, I don't think anybody's in tune. I don't think anybody from the club is singing from the same hymn sheet. I mean, I think that's a big thing from the supporters, Bobby, is that um, they thought Brendan Rodgers being back at the club meant that Celtic were going to try and build and try and do well in Europe and do well in Scotland as well. I mean, I've heard a lot of pundits this week saying Celtic fans are entitled, but I'm sure anybody in Scottish football, when Brendan Rodgers got appointed, Bobby, they would have thought Brendan Rodgers would have been backed.
You've said a lot of things there, and a lot of things to digest. Actually, talking about the relationship from top to bottom. I beg your pardon. I just want to tackle a few things you said there. You said disillusioned. But obviously, if you said that Brendan being brought back, obviously you thought he was going to be backed. Brendan said that he wanted four quality players, as you've quoted there. Was that realistic?
I think it was realistic, Bobby, because you look at the 13 players that they brought in. They brought in Kobayashi, they brought in Kwon, they brought in Kuhn, they brought in O, they brought in Bernabe, they brought in all these players. Now see if they'd have just brought in four quality players who Brendan Rodgers identified and said, right, these are the four players that I want. If you can back me and you can show me the ambition, because I'm sure Brendan Rodgers said he had a great meal with Callum McGregor in Spain, Bobby. Surely in those meetings, Brendan Rodgers identified four players that he wants to bring in, and he doesn't get backed. Um, I, I, I don't think I can look back to a Celtic um, match this season, Bobby, and go, that was a game where we really stood out and played well. I think every game, Celtic have just about got the 3 points or just
Mm-hmm.
got by. I was at uh, the county game 2 weeks on Saturday ago, Bobby, and the atmosphere during that match was absolutely toxic from start to finish. I mean, Ross County were very unfortunate not to score two goals right at the very end and go away 2-1 winners. And we know that Ross County are not playing too well, and then Derek Adams left Scottish football. So I think that just shows you that Celtic are not in a way at the minute where they can think, well, we are actually capable of doing well. it'll be interesting to see what actually happens over the next few weeks. But I'm interested to see. But I tell you something, Bobby, it's great for Scottish football to have a great title race back.
Yeah, yeah. Do you know? I just want to conclude on what you said there about you said about you thought the four quality players were realistic to get. You've mentioned that Callum McGregor had a meeting with Brendan. To conclude that topic before we go into the title race, I said, is it realistic? And what I mean by that, is it realistic that they'll get the four quality players? And was it realistic that Brendan was going to be backed?
I think it should have been because I think.
But he hasn't been, has he?
No, he hasn't. But
Right.
I think that's part of the problem, Bobby, because you can't sell a player of Jota's quality and then bring in Marco Tilio, who is not nowhere to be seen. Then you brought in Palmer, who I think he's okay, Bobby. But I think if you want to win if you want to win the Scottish Premier League, I don't think he's the answer overall. So I think if you're looking to really back Brendan Rodgers and say we want to make a statement that Brendan Rodgers is here to win another league title and make a stamp in Europe. This is who we brought in. And no disrespect to Greg Taylor, Bobby, but Greg Taylor needs help. When Greg Taylor's been out, but I don't think Bernabe's done very well. He caused another goal on Saturday against Derek McGuinness' side. And I think that is one of the positions that Brendan Rodgers identified as well, Bobby. And
Okay.
because for me, I'm all for Greg Taylor having an opportunity, but there needs to be proper competition at a club, especially when you play for Celtic and Rangers, Bobby. There needs to be competition for every time you go in that park. I said it with just before all we went to the Asia competition. I said that Kyogo's got no competition, and
Yeah.
Celtic are just very fortunate that Kyogo didn't get selected because Celtic took very long, Bobby, to get a replacement in for O, which I felt very strange because Brendan Rodgers cited in his press conferences in September that Celtic already knew that Maeda and Rio would be heading off to the Asia Cup. So
Yeah.
surely they would have been planning there to go right. Well, this is who we've identified and what we want to do.
Regan, thank you so much, man. Seriously, you've answered the question, but also you've extended on that. You mentioned the title race. It's good for Scotland to have a title race. Regan, with Rangers going top of the league, how have you found the way Rangers are playing now? The Rangers, how Rangers have went top of the league. How are you finding that challenge now? Are you welcoming it?
I'm welcoming it, Bobby, because I think it's great for the game. But also, I think it's good to go on the weekend and go right. Well, Celtic need to win this game now. They need to have the pressure of dealing with that. I said it on Sunday to a friend of mine that I think it'll be very interesting because I think Celtic this weekend, Bobby. I don't know when this video is going to go out, but I think this weekend will be the first time in a long time, Bobby, where Celtic will probably go into that match 5 points behind. And that's something
Yeah.
that's something that Scottish football and Rangers and Celtic fans have not seen for a long, long time. It's usually the opposite way about. And I think for Brendan Rodgers and for Celtic, I think it'll be a difficult challenge because I take it back and I think this is probably the lowest quality that both squads have had for a very long time. You take it back to Rangers. I thought they would have signed Shankland in the January window. I thought he would have nail on to go to Rangers during the window. I thought surely with him scoring against Celtic and scoring against Rangers as well, I thought he would have been a prime target for Rangers. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting, Bobby, because Rangers against Hearts this weekend is a massive game, and every Celtic, every Rangers fan will be glued to their radio or glued to their TV. They might not admit it speaking right now, but they'll be glued to whatever radio station or whatever TV station to watch the games because they're going to be on the edge of their seat until April the 8th when the Celtic and Rangers matches over
Yeah.
it, because that's going to be a massive match, Bobby.
Yeah, 100%, Regan, and I agree with you. I think I tweet it all the time, about Scotland need the title race. Glasgow Rangers needs Celtic just as much as Celtic needs Rangers for that illustration of Scottish football, 100%. I also feel that, it's quite nice, actually, a little bit of pressure on Celtic, see what's happening. Rangers have always got pressure on them to capitalise on a mistake from Celtic. No, they have. Obviously, as you said, with the fixtures being played, you guys are away to Motherwell on Sunday. Rangers are at home
Yep.
to Hearts on Saturday. So, like you said, people are going to be glued. I don't want to take up your time too much.
No, no.
Just in a summary, what do you think is going to happen?
Do you want my head or my heart, Bobby?
You're more than whatever you'd like to. Your honest opinion.
I think it'll be down to the very last game if Celtic play well. But I think if Celtic can get through till the injured players are back, like Rio and like Vickers as well, if they can get those guys back, then I think it could be close. But at the moment, you would have to say the momentum is with Rangers. And if I was to put my neck on the line, I'd probably say Rangers. But I think it's going to go down to the wire, Bobby. I really do. I think we might get a helicopter Sunday again. I do. I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to be great, Bobby. It really is.
I think. Listen, thank you for your time, Regan. As I said to you, I'm back doing some videos and doing some content. So thank you so much for your time, man. I appreciate you reaching out as well. Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. It's you talked about the quality of both Rangers and Celtic there.
Yep.
It's not at its heights. Both managers have had to adapt. Clement, you can only say he can only do what he can do at the moment. I think I don't know if we'll go down to the wire. I just think that something is happening, something is brewing. Do we see a shift of power? Maybe. I might be wrong, and that's all I'll say. I also think the Shanklin situation. I think the Shanklin situation is a very unique situation because we have a gentleman that is Scottish, flying. He's hot topic, hot property. I believe there's no news of a signed contract, and which fair play to him. Why should he sign a contract at the moment? Go into the summer and see what's happening with his party and obviously Hearts, and obviously he might want to just concentrate on just getting into the squad for the Euros, which I believe he will. Does he start? I don't know. And the reason I say that is just because the history of the way the Scotland team is being picked, which is I have no beef or no grinds about that. It's just my opinion. I don't want a helicopter day. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. But for the drama of for the Scottish people and for the league, it'll be brilliant, wouldn't it? It'd bring back more excitement, wouldn't it? The last thing I would say is this, Regan. If Celtic lose and Rangers win, if Rangers win and Celtic lose, is it Tom and Jerry now? We're playing catch up.
Yeah, I think Celtic are definitely on the back foot. I think Rangers have got all the momentum at the moment, Bobby, and Celtic in terms of, I suppose the only thing they can hope for is that the Rangers will be tired because of the European football later on in the season. But if you're Brendan Rodgers, you're hoping that you're still in Europe. But I think this is going to be a fascinating title race, and it's good for Scottish football because I don't know, Bobby, but I've missed it for years. I have. Yeah. It's one of the things that people don't want to hear it, but I think it's a great thing for Scottish football that both teams are going neck and neck, and even Hearts. Hearts have won the last, I think it's 7 matches. That's great.
Yeah.
It's great to see as well. So I'm I'm positive about Scottish football well-being. I think there's a great product there, and I think in terms of the Rangers and Celtic for the rest of the season, I don't think it'll be down to the Celtic Rangers matches, Bobby. I think it'll be down to are Rangers able to go to Aberdeen and win, or Celtic able to go to Easter Road and win? Because you look at Celtic, I think Celtic, Bobby, here's my prediction. I think Celtic will probably will win the next 2 or 4 matches, but they'll probably not win the league. That's my prediction.
Wow, we'll finish on that. Reegan, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much.
No problem, mate.